Okay, so what I've learned this month is that what you don't want to do is assign yourself a sort of monumental personal photography project during busy portrait season. Anyway, welcome back to my channel. This is just a quick Clicktober update, and if you don't know what Clicktober is, it's a personal challenge to take a photograph every day for the month of October, and there are different versions of it. There are photographers everywhere doing their own version. Some are doing themed, each day is a specific theme or something like that. For me personally, I am just trying to focus on being intentional about taking a photograph every day, using my Sony a7 III on manual mode. And the point of that is to get better acquainted with that camera and to be able to use it quickly and efficiently, to be, familiar with the buttons and the controls and all the things that it can do so that I can use it and use the different functions when I need to. Also, in the spirit of that, I am filming this video on my a7 III, which I don't normally do. I've been using my Apple iPhone. I have a 12 Pro Max, and I've been recording all my videos on that. So this Clicktober has been a little bit of a challenge for me because even though I have my camera with me all the time, and I can pretty much guarantee that I can find something that I can turn into a cool shot with a lot of post-processing or something, a lot of cropping later, post-processing, whatever. I'm trying to be more intentional about my photography and the way I compose it and the way I'm looking at things, because I want to try to get a little bit of different look to my photography than what I've been doing. I feel like I'm in a little bit of a rut and everything has a sort of very similar look to it. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing because, when it comes to art, it can be a very good thing to have a certain style to your work. Certainly with my portrait work, it's very recognizable. But, for me, it's gotten a little repetitive. Maybe it's gotten a little boring. The point being, I just want to challenge myself to try to get a little bit of a different look to things. And part of that is really focusing on compositions and focusing on trying to get the lighting better straight out of camera. Yeah, now I'm just rambling. So anyway, I've been trying to get a little bit of a different look. I feel like the type of post-processing that I've done for a long time is very kind of hyper contrasty, very hyper realistic, and it can end in some really dramatic photographs. But also I think sometimes they drift towards looking unrealistic. I want them to look and feel very grounded and authentic, sort of a spontaneous documentary style photography. Anyway, this is just going to be a quick journey through what I've done so far. Today is October 17th. I have done and edited up through October 16th. I did take photographs today, but I haven't edited them yet. It's late, I'm tired, so I'm just going to record this video. And I'm just gonna run through some of the photographs and show you the end results and talk a little bit about my thought process and what I did and why. And, I don't know, maybe you'll find it interesting, maybe not, but that's what I'm going to do. The first couple of days really showcased the way the weather here is so volatile in October. On day one, it was incredibly gloomy, but day two was beautiful, and I used the opportunity to capture this shot of the flowers downtown in our village. And this has a lot of the street photography vibe I'm trying to capture. Day three was kind of a throwaway day because I was traumatized by that spider web, if you can see it. But day four, you can see these beautiful, if kind of cloudy day, and I thought a great day to capture the beautiful wildflowers and the fact that the trees haven't yet started to turn. This photograph is really personal to me because that's my husband catching the ball. He and our oldest son, they were practicing their long snaps out at our tailgate. And I really kind of have struggled looking at this because I wish there were things that I could have done to make it better, but I'm actually not sure what I could have done without moving them or changing the environment somehow. The light is kind of dappled and it's not the best composition. I kind of did it really quickly, but that's part of the point of this. I want to be able to, capture moments as they're happening and do it in an interesting and creative way. This one I'm really pleased with because with black and white, I tend to default to using presets because there are a lot of really good black and white presets, but this one I edited all by hand. This is a scene that's across from the YMCA, and I just thought it was a really neat capture. I love that there's a dairy aisle right across from the YMCA, but I love the way this came out. It feels very dramatic to me, and also the movement of the car feels like it gives it an energy. This was a shot I got after a portrait session. My husband and I went chasing the clouds because there were such beautiful dramatic clouds that evening. This shot I'm really proud of, and I want to say that I did break one of my own rules, which is I wasn't going to allow using actual portrait work as my shot for the day. But the reason I'm including this one is because I used a lot of the features on my camera that I don't often use in a portrait session. And I was able to do that because of this project and because I'm really focusing on being able to use that camera and being able to use all its features. So I wanted to include this because it felt really good to me to be able to do that in the middle of a portrait session when I'm generally thinking about so many other things that I don't have time to futz with things on the camera that I don't understand completely. This shot I thought was interesting because it shows how dry things still really are, but I also desaturated a bit to make it look a little more like a film shot. And then this one I just thought was a really beautiful sunset. And I'm working on an editing video to go into details about how I edited it to make it more dramatic. I really struggled with editing this one. I messed around with it a lot, but I think black and white was the way to go. And I wanted to highlight the skeletons as best I could and make them pop against the background. I feel like this is a really good example of just working with what you have because there's nothing I can do about what the scene is or what the background is or anything else. You just have to work with what's there. So these next 4 images, and also you may notice that day 14 is missing, and I'm not sure why. I can't seem to find wherever I put that image. But these next 4 images that you're looking at, I really tried to emulate the look of film. And I think I did a pretty effective job, and I learned some new things. I've never really worked with curves in Lightroom, but I did with all of these to try to desaturate them and desaturate specific colors and give them that sort of film look, and I think it was pretty effective. I think my voice sounds kind of ragged and screechy. Is it just me? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little tour through my photography this month and this special Clicktober project. If you are working on any sort of special project yourself, please let me know. I'd love to hear what you're up to, how it's going. If you have any questions about anything I'm doing, camera settings, the Lightroom editing that I'm doing, please let me know. I also have some videos upcoming with, sort of a deeper dive into editing that I did on a few of the individual photos and what my thought process was, like how I got to that point. And that's almost just for me to talk things through. But you might find it interesting, especially if you're still learning Lightroom and learning to see what it can do and how you can edit your photos. I'm happy to answer any questions. Just comment down below. And yeah, that's about it. Hit like and subscribe, and there's more photography goodness / nonsense coming. Thanks.